Hello again. So this video is for the more advanced student or the MGP student or perhaps the LPC student that wants to go on someday and get their PhD. I'm trying to teach this class on 2 levels, as I mentioned before. And when I originally scanned and reviewed this textbook, I was pretty excited. I was excited because it was like the textbook that I had in graduate school. And I still have the digital. So there are quite a few statistics textbooks. When you go out there are quite a few. And I chose one based on its accessibility. I thought it was most accessibility and versatile for this class. And one of the things that I really liked about it, let me share my screen when I looked at it, was what I'm about to show you. It's not all that jargon on the left. Let me minimize the Zoom stuff here. It was actually, oh, come on. It was actually, here it is. Here's your textbook. Oh, sure, I'll accept cookies from this guy because I thought I was going to get a cool textbook here. I thought when I got this thing for you, and I got this thing for me, that it had things called data sets. All right. So this is the book. This is the title. This is instructor resources. So, I could have test banks, which I'm not going to do. I may borrow from their PowerPoints from time to time, but I feel like yeah, that can get dry with the instructors just reading PowerPoints. And I've got data sets and tables and figures. The cool thing about data sets, so when I took stats as a graduate, as a PhD student, they would give like somebody did a study and they collected data and then it would like, here's some fake data for you, right? And so you get to run, and like I told you in the prior video, like when stats get exciting is you actually get to run the stats and see what the results are. Because it's like something that's never seen before, somebody's ever seen before. And that's where stats gets exciting. But if I hit data sets and I download this, and I've done it a couple of times, you can see there's probably a few downloads. And then I open this up, and it's the same for you. You all have access to these data sets. It comes into these things called R and R files. And R files, it's an open access coding. I just when I chose the book, I saw data sets here and I was really excited because it was like, okay, we'll deal with this. Well, there's a several step process that you have to learn new software to then convert into different software to then convert into an Excel file. So there's like a 3-step process to take that. And I believe that's probably due to them not wanting to copyright, not just putting it in an Excel file so most people can access it. So I'm pretty disappointed here. Actually, I'm very disappointed in this. I mean, I've spent most of the morning since 7. It's 11:30, trying to work through this, trying to even use AI to help me work through this, and I've not been able to. So I'm not a coder. I'm not a programmer. If you are and you want to take a stab at this and convert this stuff into an Excel file for us, you're welcome to. I can't promise you any bonus points, but I do want to make this accessible to you. The best way I can think of is to get on, a different site and just come up with common files. So if you're in the field, and a lot of you, indicated you might be LADC. So what I did here is I did a Google search and I said, open access Excel data for psychology stats. Okay. And that open access means it's, educational resources that people are trying to share where we don't have to pay for it. So I went to UCLA. I trust that as a valid source of information. It's not going to be compromised. So I went to UCLA and I found these things, and I ran across a database that I have used actually in practice, like as a counselor. So this actually could go into Well, primarily as a clinical director and looking at outcomes and writing for grants. So if you're ever a clinical director of an agency and have to substantiate a grant request, finding valid stats are important. So I clicked on this substance. So this is from SAMHSA, or I guess it's called SAMHDA now, or SAMHDA. I think it is SAMHSA, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration, but they Services Administration. But this is Substance Abuse and Mental Health Data Archive. So SAMHDA, which sounds awful. I didn't really recognize that till I started lecturing here. Duh. So you click on, so you can go find your state is basically what you can do, and find the national statistics here regarding substance use, state and sub-state estimates. So this could be, do I have a fentanyl epidemic in my area? So I go to Oklahoma and I clicked on that, and this is what comes up. Now, from here, this is what I was hopeful for with the file that they were giving us in our textbook. But you can you can download this, so you can look at manic depressive episode past year among adults age 18 or over. Not just this. There's a lot of, if you download this CSV file, there's a lot of data. You can see Northwest Oklahoma, we're kind of mild. Boy, we're looking at Oregon over here. 9% folks had some bipolar going on. Oh, Utah, what is happening here? A lot of folks bipolar in Utah. Um, that's interesting. So you can look at these different things. But if I download this CSV file, let me go ahead and download it. I did, and here is what it appears to be. It says map data, and this will open in Excel. So if I open this in Excel, this is what it looks like. And this is what I was hopeful for that your textbook would provide. This gives you access to raw data. And when we're actually running statistics, this is what we are interested in. We are interested in, and I'll just expand these a bit. We are interested in raw data for different regions for our study. And this is what you actually run your stats with, is what you find here. Now, there are a few things that you would do to make this readable by a statistics program. The first thing I'd want to do is make sure this is bolded at top, because that's a heading. If you were to convert this into SPSS or try to run data here in Excel, try to run some stats on it, you would need to, the program to recognize this as categories. So to follow through with our lecture for today, this is categorical data. I can see this here is nominal categorical data, the major depressive episode. I assume this is going to turn into something else if I go down farther, because it's saying outcome. Oh my goodness, is this all just major depression? Wow, that's a lot of, so that's for the whole United States. We could go in and we could try to find Oklahoma. Make your life easy when you use these programs. Always use a find feature rather than waiting so long. So I could type in Oklahoma and I could find all. And then it's got 32 cells found. What I could do is I could replace it, or I could make it do some things statistically here at the options. I'm not going to do that right now, but I am going to show you, we could, find Oklahoma pretty quickly. So it looks at, major depressive episodes in Oklahoma. So this is also nominal data, Oklahoma, Central Oklahoma, Oklahoma East Central. So if you were to categorize things, put things in categories, this is nominal data. Now, a question for the class: what type of data would you suppose this would be here? Would it be, here's my question, would it be nominal? Would it be ordinal? Would it be interval? Would it be ratio? That is the question for you. What do you think? I'm not going to make you wait too long. I would argue this is ratio data because there would be a true zero. A true zero is no one suffering from depression or diagnosed with depression in Oklahoma. Now that's not the case. You can see that you have 1.5 if you're to do this with your decimals. Actually, I would argue that's 15%, 15% of Oklahoma there. And that would represent 7% because in a percent, you move your decimal over twice. So just looking at this data. Now, I'm going to stop there because many of you are probably like, well, what is he even doing? This is jumping in the deep end of the pool. Yeah, it is. Because if you go on to get a PhD, you're going to be required to work with numbers unless no, you are, because you have to take a stats class. Now, your PhD, your dissertation, you could do a qualitative study, but even a qualitative study works with analysis and numbers and some stats, not as intricate as a quantitative study. That's probably enough for now. If you're interested in more, and this is like, hey, I need to know this information, then reach out to me via email because I really do need to know if I need to make sections like this moving forward with us. I am going to make a few because I want people to be equipped to at least step into intro to research and then their capstone or move into their thesis research at the end. That's one of my goals, is to be able to actually have you step in and know a little bit about. Now, you'll work through the process. You're not going to be an expert by this class by any means, but at least you'll know what you're in for a bit. And hopefully if you're like me and you like data and you like to learn about things statistically, which many of you probably are not, that's okay. You can know what you're doing. So anyway, reach out if you have questions. I'm happy to help. Otherwise, I will see you online in the regular discussion board.